What's going on, guys? It's Brandon back here again for BFR Game 5 preseason. BFR preseason Game 5 versus the Minnesota Wild. That was played at 7:30 p.m. on October 5th. The game ends in a 3-2 shootout win for the Minnesota Wild. The Hawks lose. Shots 29-28 Chicago. Hits 13-11 Minnesota. Faceoffs 24-22 Chicago. Of course, before the game even started, you had the Bears game, and even before that, rest in peace to a Chicago Bears legend. I know they held a moment of silence for him at that game, for both the Bears and the Hawks. Dick Butkus, Chicago Bears legend, and 80 years old, and rest in peace. I got to meet him one time. Power plays, I forgot to mention, 0 for 4 Chicago, 0 for 6 for Minnesota, and so neither team is good on the power play. Soderblom and Fleury both saved 26 out of 28. First line for the Hawks, Hall, Bedard, and Donato, who was dealing with a groin injury. It didn't seem to bug him too much in this game. Second line, Tyler Johnson, Lucas Reichel, and Taylor Radish. Third line, Nick Foligno, Jason Dickinson, Corey Perry. Fourth line, Boris Kachuk, Reese Johnson, and Joey Anderson. First defensive pair, Vlasic and Seth Jones. Second pair, Korchinski and Murphy. Third pair, Tenorti and Kaiser. And that was Soderblom, and I will say Soderblom had a pretty good game. First period, 17:32, it's a Minnesota deflection goal from Marcus Foligno early. First of the preseason from Gaudreau and Merrill to make it 1-0. Then at 15:16, it's a Chicago penalty to Murphy for high sticking, which would be killed. Boldy's denied. 12:47, Minnesota penalty to Maroon for hooking, which would be killed. Donato and Hall both have chances saved. Then at 10:46, it's a brotherly response. It's a Chicago snipe by Nick Foligno, the brother of Marcus Foligno, from Radish and Korchinski to make it 1-1. Soderblom then robs Eriksson Ek. Then at 10:01, it's a Chicago penalty to Hall for slashing, which would be killed. Faber hits the post, and then at 4:07, it's a Minnesota penalty to Hartman for interference, which would be killed. Bedard had drawn both Minnesota penalties to that point. Second period, it was starting to get scrummy. Foligno's denied. Reese Johnson, Dewar had a big hit on Reese Johnson, and that led to a fight at 16:53. Reese Johnson and Connor Dewar drop the gloves, and they both get 5 for fighting. Tyler Johnson has a deflection that's saved. Bedard has a chance that's saved. 15:17, Minnesota penalty to Merrill for holding, which would be killed. But then at 13:41, it's a Chicago penalty to Tyler Johnson for boarding, which would be killed. But it would be 4-on-4 for 24 seconds, and then a Minnesota power play for 1 minute and 36 seconds. 10:59, it's a Chicago breakaway dangle goal. Taylor Hall with the moves on a breakaway. First of the preseason from Donato. Fantastic pass from Donato to get him that puck up front. Makes it 2-1. Just a great pass overall. 6:19, it's a Minnesota penalty to Foligno for tripping, which would be killed. Hartman has a chance that's stopped. Boldy sucker punches Murphy, and that led to a couple minors for roughing. Murphy and Boldy both get roughing minors at 3:35, and there's even more scrum. Very scrummy game we got here. These two teams don't like each other. Third period, 14:12, Chicago penalty to Kaiser for interference, which would be killed. And at 13:28, it's a Chicago penalty to Tenorti for boarding, which would be killed. So it would be a 5-on-3 for about about 15. No, a minute and I'm trying to do math in my head. Now that I'm done for the school this week, I can't. A minute and 16 seconds. They kill both of those off. 5:58, however, it's a Minnesota goal. Pat Maroon, the newly acquired to for Minnesota. First of the preseason from Rossi and Middleton to make it 2-2. And then 3:54, Chicago penalty to Perry for interference, which would be killed. And I wrote scrummy game for about the third time at this point. We go to overtime, where Minnesota held back the puck a lot. It seemed like they were waiting for the shootout, and when the Hawks got the puck, they would charge, but Minnesota would just hold back whenever they kept it. Kaiser whiffs on a one-timer that could have ended the game, so we'd go to the shootout. Chicago decides Minnesota gets to go first. Zuccarello goes 5-hole on Soderblom and scores. Bedard does too much and then trips, but he never gives up on the puck. Yeah, Fleury was very aggressive in net. The former Blackhawk, very, very aggressive. Kaprizov has a backhand post that missed. Taylor Hall was also tripped in front of the net and missed. Freddie Gaudreau, swing and a miss from him. Lucas Reichel has a good chance that's saved. And Fleury had attitude. He swiped that puck away like he was aggravated. I'm not sure what was going on with Fleury, but he had motivation in this game apparently. But only one preseason game left, and that will be taking place tomorrow. That'll be against St. Louis in St. Louis. And then the regular season starts on Tuesday, so we'll have a couple-day break. But that's going to be all I have for you guys today, just another preseason recap. And I shall see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.